3.
Good afternoon, and welcome to this virtual town hall for College of Charleston students, parents, and families. I'm Ron Menchaca, Vice President for University Communications, and I'll be moderating today's event off camera. I'm joined by President Andrew Hsu and the college's entire senior leadership team, all of whom are participating remotely from separate locations. This is our 4th round of virtual town halls for the campus community. Today's event will last about 45 minutes and will include opening remarks from President Hsu, as well as opening remarks from Executive Vice President for Student Affairs, Alicia Cadill. You can submit questions live using the Q&A window located at the top right of your screen. To show or hide the Q&A window, click on the dialog box icon that has a question mark on it. After I read each selected question aloud, the appropriate presenter will respond. Selected questions will appear in the Q&A window and on a slide on your main screen. If we don't read your question live during today's event, we'll still try to answer you directly through the chat feature. We also have an email address where you can submit your questions at any time. That address is covid19@cfc.edu. And with that, I'll turn it over to President Hsu for opening remarks. President Hsu?
Thank you, Ron. Good afternoon, CFC students and parents. Thank you for being here. Last Friday, I sent a message to campus sharing our intent to return to in-person instruction in fall. Like many universities across the country, in the best case scenario, we want to return to a campus experience that allows for in-person instruction. We feel that it's those close relationships that are generated inside and outside of the classroom that truly make a difference in our student learning process. However, I know this return is not going to be easy, and it won't necessarily be in a normal way that we all recognize. But I do know that this campus community, its faculty, staff, and students, has the toughness and the creativity to forge a path forward. Already our students have responded in so many ways that have shown their resiliency. I want to again thank our students and their families for your flexibility and versatility. I know this past semester has not been easy, but I'm proud of you all for making it work the best you can. As many of you may know, we have come to an end of the spring semester. Grades have been posted, and students now have the opportunity to review their grades today and tomorrow to determine how they want to apply our alternative grading policy. I encourage students to take advantage of the various virtual office hours of different campus entities to help them make great decisions. Students, you can consult with your professors, with the Center for Academic Performance and Persistence, the Academic Advising and Planning Center, and the Office of Financial Aid on Wednesday. Other than your individual professors' times, the various offices' virtual hours can be found on the slide here that we will show you in a little while. You can also find additional resources on the college's COVID-19 website under Spring 2020 Grading Policy Resources. Now we roll into Maymester and our summer coursework, which will be online as announced earlier this semester. For years, many of our summer classes have been taught at a distance. So these courses have a curriculum already intended for a virtual environment. We're also currently determining the schedules for summer activities, camps, research, and orientation. And as I hope you have already seen, we have set a tentative date of the weekend of October 9th through 11th for our postponed commencement activities. The main graduation ceremony will be held on that Sunday, October 11th, with rehearsals and smaller school and departmental celebrations taking place on that Friday and Saturday. Regarding our fall semester, we have created several institutional working groups to make plans on different facets of our campus life and academic instruction. We may be forming more working groups as needed to cover other areas as well. For all of these groups, I have set a deadline of June 15th to bring forward recommendations. To review these recommendations, I'm putting together a steering committee made up of student leaders, faculty leaders, staff leaders, and senior leadership team members. I would also hope to invite some parents' representatives to participate. Together, we will look over these recommendations and make decisions on how to best implement them. Of course, there will be factors outside of our control, and we will honor any federal, state, or municipal regulations as it relates to social distancing and other health and safety protocols. First and foremost, we want to protect our community, and our plan will start right there. I cannot stress how important the next few weeks and months are as our faculty and staff make these plans. I have encouraged all of them to think broadly and not limited to themselves to the way that the institution had always done things. Tomorrow holds new challenges, so we may need new solutions. In that light, and I encourage all of you to also share your thoughts with us, and you can send your suggestions to our email address at covid19@cofc.edu. Your ideas matter. I know we can do this, and I know we will do this together. The last thing I want to mention is our strategic plan. For the past year, we as a campus community have been working on developing a shared mission, vision, and goals. This pandemic does not change it and did not. If anything, the pandemic has shown us how important the College of Charleston is, and that we should not lose sight of our strategic goals. This Thursday, at our next scheduled Board of Trustees meeting, we will take that plan to the board for their adoption. As an institution, we will move forward and continue to take this university to new heights. Now, before getting to your questions and our answers, let me turn it over to Alicia Caudell, our Executive Vice President of Student Affairs, as she shares some information about the end of the semester and the student experience. Dr. Caudell.
Thank you, President Hsu, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us. I first want to share my gratitude and certainly the college's gratitude to students and your families and other support for making it to the end of a very unprecedented semester and for being with us today to hear more information. It certainly has been a really interesting many weeks, and we know from students, similar to life on campus, the experience of the past 6 weeks or so has been really positive for some students and really challenging for other students. And what I hope we can do is we can learn from that, and we can use the feedback from whatever your experience was so we can continue to plan and to work and to make sure we're creating the best environment possible for all of you. Some things that have been really incredible over these past 6 weeks because our students are incredible, and you know this because you are them or you're their family members. We've seen students reaching out to support each other. We've seen students find ways to connect to each other, to continue the work of their student organizations, to celebrate seniors that are graduating. And we've seen all kinds of virtual activities and events working to help make sure you're connected. And so I really appreciate everything that you've done to keep those connections. We also have been amazed with your ability to navigate in this virtual environment and still plan for registering for summer and fall semesters. And hopefully you were aware that there was a competition between our current students registering for a pizza party with President Hsu. As soon as we're able to host that, we may end up hosting a few of them in small sessions. And we're really pleased to announce that the current freshmen, now rising sophomores, had the largest percentage of their class register. So you will look forward to joining President Hsu for some pizza and fun as soon as we're able to plan that in the fall semester. If you haven't had a chance to register yet, it's not too late to do that, and we encourage you to do that. If you're having questions or barriers or concerns, your academic advisors or the Center for Academic Planning and Persistence are here to help you navigate those and to figure out strategies that are going to work best for you. It's important to remember that even though the spring semester is over, we are still here for you. Our services are still available for things that happen for you over these next months, whether that's counseling, whether that is Career Center resources, academic advising, getting connected through student activities. Those are all still available and we're working to provide those. If you don't know where to start or how to make those connections, please send an email either to me or to the COVID-19 email address, and we will make sure to help you figure out how to get connected. I do want to share a special word about the Career Center, and this is certainly important for our graduating seniors and graduate students, but it's also relevant for all of our students. The Career Center is fully operational virtually. They are able to do one-on-one consultations for guidance and support and internship planning and resumes and interview preparation. They're continuing to work with students on possible internships, most of those happening remotely. They're also posting continually on our job platform, Handshake, and we're still seeing about 50 positions post per day. So there are definitely opportunities out there. We're continuing to keep in touch with employers so that we're first on their list if they're not currently hiring, and we're keeping in touch with all the positions that are currently becoming available. So that's a great site and a great place for you to be visiting over these next few weeks. Also, we know that many of you still have some of your items in your residence hall room and you're ready to be reunited with them. So information came out yesterday from Campus Housing about the upcoming 3 weekends and how we will be available to allow you to get those items from your room while still making sure we're practicing social distancing and keeping people safe. So make sure you're looking for that detailed information. I know there are some questions about this specifically that we'll get to in a few minutes. We also continue to see some great support for our Student Emergency Fund, and we have had some great community contributors to that fund, and we're still considering applications for those funds as our funds are available to distribute. So as we plan for the fall, your safety and well-being are certainly our top priority, and we'll be working with you, students and families, to gather your input and suggestions on how we can continue to provide the College of Charleston experience even in this new world in which we find ourselves. So I look forward to connecting with you over the summer and to connecting with you throughout the upcoming academic year as well. And Ron, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks, Alicia. Let's go ahead and get started with questions here. First question, when will CFC decide if fall classes will be online or on campus?
I think I can take that one, Ron. If you can hear me, this is Fran Welch, Interim Provost. President Hsu mentioned we have a number of working groups on campus, and I happen to be chairing the working group on planning for fall semester. We plan to have, as President Hsu has asked us to do, have our plan to him by June 15th, and so that's when we should have some information by that time.
Thanks, Fran. Next question. Our son has completed his final exams And on a prior town hall, there was a comment that they should receive information on returning books. Where is the school in the process of setting up for book returns?
Hey Ron, this is Amy Orr with Business and Auxiliary Services. For students who rented textbooks, they should have received an email from Barnes & Noble at the email address that was on file with the rental that should have included a shipping label for them to return their books. If they have not received that, please ask them to reach out to the bookstore. As far as book buybacks, when we resume normal operations in the fall, students will have the opportunity to sell their books back during that time.
Thanks, Amy. Next question. Will all dorms be professionally cleaned before move-in?
Hi, Ron. I can take that one. Hi, this is John Morris, Vice President for Facilities Management. Our custodial crews have been actively deep cleaning the residence halls and classrooms since we had early closeout and move out. So they'll be doing so throughout the summer. So yes, the residence halls will be cleaned and classrooms will be ready for students when we return.
Thanks, John. Next question. If we are graduating with Latin honors, can the honors medallions be sent to us? Many of us will not be able to attend the commencement ceremony in October, and we should still be able to receive that type of recognition for our efforts.
So I will answer that. So we are in the process of planning for graduation, and Jonathan Ray is working with Alicia Cadell to plan the graduation. I will certainly ask them if those medals can be mailed.
Thank you, Fran. Next question regarding the treasurer's office. Is there a chance that the treasurer's office will reopen so we can make credit card payments for the summer sessions? If not, can a credit card payment be made over the phone without a service fee?
Yeah, hey Ron, this is Paul Patrick, Chief of Staff. I'll be happy to take that question. Unfortunately, we cannot take credit card payments over the phone, primarily because our treasurer's office staff is working from home themselves, and their home phone lines are not PCI compliant. So we can't do that. What you can do is you can mail in a check, and that would avoid the service fee. But if you do pay with credit card online, that is subject to a service fee.
Thank you, Paul. Next question. What specific options other than all in-person or all virtual is the college considering for the fall?
So I'll take that, Ron. It's Fran again. And we are, our task force is working hard on options that will allow us to keep the schedule that we have, but also teach at a distance, either online or with a webcam or with some type of dividing of classes into smaller groups. We're going to be working with our deans starting tomorrow, and then we will include our department chairs as we come up with instructional models that fit the types of classes that are being taught. So as you might imagine, the type of instruction you would do in a chemistry lab is very different from the type of instruction you would do in a theater class. So we're going to be working and trying to be as creative as we possibly can and coming up with meaningful options so that we can remain safe and healthy, but also deliver meaningful instruction.
Thank you. Next question. Are there any plans for graduation this weekend virtually?
So, Ron, this is President Andrew Hsu. What we don't want to do is have a virtual graduation now, then confuse our students. So our plan is to simply focus on the fall October in-person graduation celebration. But I will certainly have a small program where I will congratulate our graduates online.
Thank you, President Hsu. Next question. When will incoming freshmen be able to sign up for classes? My daughter's orientation was canceled.
Yes, this is Interim Provost Fran Welch again, and our next notification to parents about orientation will be May 15th. We're working fast and furiously on the orientation schedule, and so we will get notification out about orientations and the schedules, and when registration will be available on or before May 15th.
Thanks, Provost Welch. This next question is probably coming back to you as well. And the question is, when will the spring grades be posted so the students can determine to take the grade or opt for pass-fail?
Sure. So that option opened this morning at 12:01, and it will continue to be available until 11:59 tomorrow evening. And so I hope students will take advantage of the opportunity to make decisions about their grades.
I think the question is also, when is the grades posted? I think it's already been posted.
Oh yes, the grades were posted by 5 o'clock last Friday. So the grades were already posted. Sorry.
Thank you both. Next question. If CFC has online classes only for fall semester, will there be a reduction in tuition? If not, can my son take online classes elsewhere and transfer the credits?
So this is President Andrew Hsu again. If we're hoping that we don't have to take that option, but if CFC has to offer fall semester entirely online, then we certainly will look at a lower tuition so that we are competitive with your local options.
Thanks, President Hsu. Next question. Our state has not yet opened up for out-of-state travel, and we can't move our student out of her dorm. What can we do?
Ron, this is Amy Orr with Business and Auxiliary Services. I'll answer this question. Please contact the Office of Campus Housing at housing@cfc.edu. They will be happy to work with you to coordinate a time when you are able to return to campus. They can also share with you some information about a partnership that we have with a local company that can pack and store or ship your items for you as well.
Thanks, Amy. Got another question for you here, bookstore question again. Will the bookstore allow students to sell books back in the fall?
Sure, Ron. The bookstore will be allowing students to sell their books back when we resume normal on-campus operations in the fall.
Thank you. Question about move out. We were assigned a 5/23 move out date. 1, when we come, will we be able to get into the Cato building to retrieve belongings from a locker? 2, we are driving from New Jersey. Are the hotels open in the area?
Hi, Ron. This is Alicia Cadell in Student Affairs, and I just put my email address in the chat response to this question. And if you'll shoot me an email, I'll be happy to help coordinate with public safety so you can get into the Cato building when you're here. And we are seeing hotels open in the area. So I would suggest perhaps taking a look into getting something set pretty soon with that.
Thank you, Alicia. Another question about move out. Regarding dorm rooms that need to be cleared on May 16th or 23rd, can a local family member come without the student and handle the packing clearing? We live in Connecticut and are having a difficult time making the trip on designated dates.
Hey, Ron, this is Amy Orr again. Absolutely, that's not a problem at all. We just ask that the student email housing to let them know who coming to campus and so that they can coordinate access with that person to the room.
Thanks, Amy. Next question about academics and teaching. Will professors be required to continue face-to-face instruction via Zoom or otherwise?
So this is Fran Welch, Interim Provost, and we are having a number of different professional development opportunities for faculty members throughout the summer, trying to give them as many options for teaching as we can so that we can deliver instruction in as meaningful a way as possible.
Thank you, Provost Welch. Next question. Our family is about to make travel arrangements for our selected move-out day. Are their arrangements absolutely firm, as we do not want to lose money traveling down and booking accommodations?
Hi, Alicia Cadell in Student Affairs. Thanks for all these great questions about move out. We know you're anxious to get your items. They are as firm as we can possibly have them be unless something dramatically changes in the state. We plan to be available to help you get into the room and get what you need on the date you're able to come.
Thank you, Alicia. Next question. If classes are virtual in the fall, is there any consideration of payment the same for in-state and out-of-state tuitions? I'm not sure why students out of state need to continue to pay out-of-state costs if the classes are virtual.
Again, this is President Andrew Hsu. Certainly, those are all things that we're currently considering.
Thanks, President Hsu. Next question. When will diplomas be mailed to graduates?
So the registrar's office, they're working very, very diligently to get the degrees posted. And as soon as we can after that, we'll put the diplomas in the mail.
Thank you, Provost Welch. Next question. Will scholarships still apply if they don't return for fall and end up taking only online classes?
This is President Andrew Hsu. I think we talked about this with our admissions and financial aid. I do believe that the answer is yes. We'll continue to honor our scholarships, even if we don't return them.
Thanks, President Hsu. Next question. Is there an update on whether Spectra is still happening?
Hi, everyone. Alicia Cadell in Student Affairs again. Yes, absolutely. There will be a Spectra format of programming. We think that's an incredibly important way for students to prepare to be on campus with us in the fall. It may look virtual. It may look different. We may do some things that extend into the fall semester to make that transition better for students, but we're talking about that and very close to making some final decisions on what that will look like, and we'll have information on that very soon.
Thanks, Alicia. Next question. Given that most on-campus dorms are double or triple occupancy, do you still plan to house multiple students in one dorm room?
And Ron, Alicia Cadell, I'll take this one as well. We have a task force right now looking at everything in the residence halls to create the best and safest experience possible. If you're familiar with our residence halls, there are a lot of different setups for rooms, and we actually have just a handful that are triple occupancy, but we're going to be looking at density and how we can spread students out and give them access to space that they need. So we're taking a look at all of those things and are benchmarking and looking at best practices on that, and we'll certainly have more on that in the upcoming weeks.
Thanks, Alicia. Next question. What will happen for students who need to do their clinical practice student teaching for education majors?
So Ron, this is Fran, and the answer is that Dr. Kevin Eakes is our assistant dean for the professional practice. He's working with the state of South Carolina and our local school districts to determine what experiences will be available for the student teachers, those in clinical practice. So we will keep our interns for this next fall semester informed. Dr. Eakes has been communicating with me, and we'll let you know as soon as we know the plans.
Thanks, Provost Welch. And I imagine this next one is coming back to you as well. The question is, my daughter is planning to select pass-fail option for one of her major courses. Will this affect her GPA or hours needed for graduation?
It depends, and I would encourage her to be in contact with any of the offices that were posted when President Hsu began his remarks today. So it's better to get the specific question answered by somebody who is very familiar with what her major is and all that.
Thank you, Provost Welch. One moment while I find my place here. Next question. Why are out-of-state fees being applied to online Maymester and summer courses? Can they be waived? Also, our summer bill has library fees listed. Is the library going to be closed?
So this is President Hsu. As I mentioned before, we are considering for a fall semester if it were to be fully online. No decisions have been made, but for our summer semester and Maymester, majority of those courses were online originally, and they're no different from what we were doing in prior years. And our library are available right now online. And so we are operating as a normal campus at this point, other than the fact that all courses are online. So for summer, we have not, we do not have any plan to waive the out-of-state tuition.
Thanks, President Hsu. Next question. How will off-campus housing handle a potential late start to classes?
Hi, everyone. Alicia Cadell in Student Affairs again. At this point in time, I don't think we anticipate any changes to the academic calendar and when classes will begin. And certainly, as we've perhaps shared before, we don't have a contractual relationship with off-campus housing. That being said, we know that there are a number of housing options for students in the Charleston area that we hope will want to respond to what students need. And we are working with President Hsu on some continuous communication with the managers of those spaces and the those that rent properties and things like that to try to communicate what we're doing as a college and to ask for their support of our students. So we'll continue those communication efforts with them.
Thanks, Alicia. Next question, President Hsu, is very similar to a couple of questions ago about the tuition. With learning being exclusively online for Maymester and both summer sessions, how do you plan on addressing the disparity charging 250% more to non-resident students when all students are home and clicking on the same URL links and video meetings?
Well, I think, Ron, this is Andrew Hsu. I've answered that question probably 2 or 3 times, and I just don't have a new answer.
Thanks, President Hsu. Next question. Will there be any virtual orientation options?
This is Fran again, and yes, we will have virtual options for orientation. We really want to get students on our beautiful campus if it is at all possible, but it might not be possible. And so if necessary, we are planning some virtual orientation options.
Thank you. Next question. Will the bookstore be open during the move-out date so we can return books?
Hey, Ron, this is Amy again. The bookstore will not be open in May while the college is still limited to essential employees only working on campus. Again, you can return those books in the fall when we resume normal on-campus operations.
Thank you. Next question. Since there has been so much uncertainty with the deadline for choosing, will the deadline for choosing roommates be extended?
Ron, this is Amy again. Campus Housing is continuing to accept housing applications for students, and will guarantee an assignment to any who apply by June 1st. We have started processing applications for students who submitted their applications by May 1st, and we will do our very best to match students with the roommates that they request.
Thanks, Amy. Next question. Will there be a maximum class size for in-person classes?
I'll take that. This is Fran again. It depends upon the size of the classroom. And so we're working on our scheduling for the fall semester classes. And depending upon the size of the classroom and the actual size of the student body in the class, in that particular class, we are going to practice social distancing, but it won't be one size fits all because we have a number of different size classrooms, we have laboratories, we have our activity classes are offered in gymnasiums, and so we will practice social distancing, but it won't be the same for every single class.
Thank you. Next question. Will fall recruitment take place?
Hi, this is Alicia Cadell in Student Affairs. I believe this is referring to fraternity and sorority recruitment for a fall semester. And we're certainly looking at all of the ways that we gather students together and how we can do that safely. So we're looking at lots of different options. We know that that's a really important connection for students. So I can't say that it will look like it's looked in the past, and we're still working with student leaders to figure out what our options might be, but we're committed to creating pathways for students to make those connections. I just don't know exactly what that will look like yet.
Thank you, Alicia. Next question. Any info on lab research positions for summer?
So this is Fran again, and we are considering internships and research opportunities, but we have to be careful and we have to follow the rules that we're given by the governor and by our local community and by our own best understanding of what is a safe thing to do. So we're working with those on a case-by-case basis. We do have some students involved in research that's being handled virtually. So we are working on it. It's just, again, not every situation is the same. And we do have some external grants that have research options attached, and we're working with those. Each one, again, looking at the circumstances and what's the safe and appropriate thing to do.
Thank you, Fran. Next question. Will graduating seniors get a CARES Act stimulus check?
Hi, Ron, Alicia Cadell in Student Affairs again. And we are currently working on our disbursement process for those CARES funds. And we know that the intent of those funds is to help students that were disrupted by COVID-19 in this current spring semester. So that will make seniors who are eligible, they will receive some of that CARES funding.
Thanks, Alicia. Next question. How will meals be provided and social distances be incorporated?
Hey, Ron, this is Amy again. We are working with our business partner, Airmark, and following the guidance of the CDC, as well as the Department of Health and Environmental Control for South Carolina, to develop a plan to ensure that we can safely serve students in our dining locations while ensuring safe social distancing. So we are in the process of making plans now.
Thanks, Amy. Next question. Students are often sent home in the first few weeks of fall due to hurricanes. Have you considered starting with online and then starting in person later? This would avoid the expensive last-minute travel that seems to be inevitable and also not miss a week of classes. This has happened the last 2 years.
So this is Fran again. We are considering all possibilities, and our task force is working right now on establishing guidelines, the things that we will do, and in terms of having classes for the fall. Once we have those guidelines in place, we'll present to President Hsu a number of different scenarios and try to present the positives and the challenges for each one of those scenarios. And we'll have those scenarios into him hopefully before July 15th, but for sure by June 15th. I'm sorry, June 15th.
Thank you. Next question. If there is no orientation, what guidance will the school provide for incoming freshmen?
Again, Fran here, and there will be orientation. We just don't know the form it will take yet. We will let you know. Our next notification date is May 15th, and we're working on what makes the most sense for orientations for summer of 20.
Thank you. Next question. We submitted our request for move-out date and time. When will it be confirmed?
Hey, Ron, this is Amy again. We will confirm move-out time slots no later than Thursday prior to the Saturday before move-out. If you have any specific questions about your particular situation, please feel free to email Campus Housing.
Thanks, Amy. Next question. Will CFC be applying CARES funding directly to student bills in the fall as other South Carolina colleges have?
Hi, Ron, Alicia Cadill again. Our intent for our CARES funding is to make that funding available directly to the student. It'll come from the treasurer's office, and then as a family or a student, you can decide the best and highest use of that funding that's provided to you.
Thanks, Alicia. And we're running a little short on time, so this will be our last question. Is it safe for 2 people to room together?
Hey, Alicia again, and I'll take that question. I think we're looking at all of the options in our residence halls, and I think the answer to that is it depends on the configuration of the space and how we're able to test students and lots of factors that we're still watching and monitoring. But certainly the safety and well-being of our students on campus, and especially in their place where they live in the residence halls, will be the top priority as we make any of those decisions.
Thank you, Alicia. And that's going to conclude the Q&A portion of today's event. Before I send it back to President Hsu for closing remarks, I want to let our audience know that you can stay up to date on general College of Charleston news all summer long by visiting our university news site, The College Today. The address is today.cfc.edu. And for information and updates on the college's ongoing response to COVID-19, please visit our main landing page at cfc.edu/COVID-19. There you'll find links to a variety of online resources, including a link to a list of frequently asked questions and links to video recordings of past town halls. I'll now turn it back over to President Hsu for closing remarks. President Hsu. I think you're still muted, sir.
Thank you, Ron. Sorry. I know we didn't answer all of your questions, and some of the answers were perhaps not what you were hoping for. These are indeed very difficult times and unprecedented times for all of us. We appreciate your patience and your understanding. Our goal is to provide you with the most up-to-date answers based on our best understanding of the situation. We'll continue these virtual town halls in the coming weeks, and I hope we can continue to address those unanswered questions in the near future. In closing, I want to thank all of you again for your dedication to your studies at the College of Charleston. This institution is special because all of you. Your toughness, your grittiness, and your desire for knowledge are what make this university great. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing all of you on campus soon. Thank you. Go Cougars!